and I'll open my Canva right here. Having to open my Canva right here, all I have to do is to use my search components, which is this. I have to use the search box to do whatever I want to do. So I'll search from here. I'll search for restaurants, and we're going to see if we have a restaurant flyer to templates. So we're going to just search for that, and I just search for restaurants from here, and I'm going to just look for restaurants. So let's look for a flyer to replicate. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to look for a flyer to redesign or to replicate or to edit. So let's look for this. I'm going to take this particular template and I'm going to customize it. I'm going to use this customize this template to customize that. And if you notice, when I chose the flyer, there are different flyers that talks about food right here. So you could choose to edit some of these flyers. It depends on what you want to work on. If you want to work on a menu, you could choose this. So you could see we have different flyers right here. So you could choose any of these flyers and you could choose to redesign yours. You could choose to start yours from scratch. But all these flyers, they all look good and we could actually redesign them if we want to, and we could make it what we want to make it. So let me customize the one I chose. So I chose this. I'll customize this right now. So having to choose that, I'm going to be able to enter my Canva, and here we are on the Canva, and we could change the whole color of this. So having to click on this, we have a color shielding this. So this is a color shielding that I want to have that deleted. All I have to do is to scroll this way, and I'm going to see my dots. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete what I saw first. I deleted that, and this is a background image that could be changed. So we could change this background image or we could have it deleted. So let's say I want to change this, so I can just go right here to delete it. I will just click on these three dots and I'll choose delete. Then I'll delete that. As you could see, this is looking bland already. So let me look for an image. I'm going to use replace to look for an image. So I'm going to replace that, and I'm going to come to my photos to look for a food related photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say restaurants. Let's see what we have. Let's see the photos we have in our stock photos. So we have different restaurants photos here. So we're going to just choose one to use. So let's go ahead and see the one to choose. So let me just say this one. Let me see what that would look like. And here it is. This is what it looks like after I chose that, and it's not looking bad to me, but it's not really a it depends on what you want to work on. So let me try to replace that image. I'm not really feeling that image, so I'm going to still come this way. I'm going to come this way. So let me look for that. So I'm going to replace. So let me just try to replace. I'm going to use this, and let me see. Let me see other pictures, other stock photos I could use to do this. So yes, do that. So let me look for another stock photo. This is not looking bad. So we have to take your time to look for photos to use just to make your design look good. So we have a whole lot of photos right here, and this looks like something we could go with. Let's see what this would look like. This is not looking bad at all. Look at this. This is not looking bad at all. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a shape on it. I'm going to add a shape on this just to make it make more sense. So yes, let's look for elements, and in elements I have to look for shape, which is this. I'm going to use the square shape to do this. So I'm going to just click on this, and it's going to bring that in. So this is it coming in, and all I have to do is to bring something like this up, and we are going to give it a color. So I could choose to give it a red color, then I could choose to transparent to red color. So having to give it a red color now, all I have to do is I can choose to transparent the red color. So let me look for transparency. Let me look for transparency. So I will just click on this and make sure we have something like this. So I'm going to click on this, and here's the color, and here's the transparency. I'm going to choose transparency. So just to make it transparent, and I'm going to do something like this, which is not looking bad at all. So it makes us see through the image, and here we are. This is not looking bad, so I'll proceed this way. So right now we have this, and what we want to do now is to check the layer. layers. So I'll click on the blank part of the Canva, not any of the design. I'll click on the blank part, then I'll be able to check I want to check the layers actually. I want to check the layers of this design. How do I go about that? So let me look for the layers of the design. So let me come right here. I'll choose any part of the design. Yes, that's what I just did. So I'll choose any part of the design. So I just chose that and I'll look for layers. Here is layers. So I'm going to just click on layers and we're going to see the layer of everything. So this should be down, down, down so that everything shows. So I'm going to just hold it and I'm going to drag it down, down, down. Yes, so it's going to only cover the background image, and that's what I just did. So it's covering only the background image right now. So that's what we just did, and yeah, we are good to go. So yes, we are good to go right now, and yeah, yeah. So this is what we have right here from what I just did. So what I want to do is to change all this. You could delete that. Let's say that is not needed, and it depends on what you want to work with. You could say food, food bake Food bank, yes. Let's name it food bank. Food bank. I could choose to change the font from here. I will change the font. So let me change the font of that to look more like something like a brand should carry. So here we have food bank. I just changed it to Archivo Black. So let's see what that connotes. Yeah, we have food bank right here. And this particular food bank could go up. So I could just take it up. All I have to do is to click on it and I'll move it up. Look at this. I'll move it with this. I'll move it up this way. I'll move it up and here it stays. So food bank stays there. And this will be it with us. Okay, you could say dine with us. So just a simple edit. I'll just edit the template and we're going to have, so I could say dine with us just to change the text. And yes, I'll move that around. So let's bring it up a bit. So yes, I'll just say, let me just click on, yes, let me bring it up a bit. So I'll just bring it up a bit. I'll say dine with us. And yes, 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 we are good to go this way. So we could do some basic edits. This could be something else. So we could change our color. I'll just click on color here to change the color of the text. I'm going to see where you see A is where you're going to change the color of the text. So I'm going to change the color of the text to like a white. I'm going to change this to like a white. I'm going to change this to like a white so it looks great on this. So here we are. And this is not looking bad at all. So we could make this black so it could stand out. Yes, and I could make the text on it. So we made that black. What about the text on it? So we could make the text on it another color, of course. So let me just see what the text color could be. So it could be white, and yes, it's not looking bad. So we say order now and food bank and everything looks so great. So you could change all this. You could change all this. You could change your website. You could change everything you are seeing here. So basically, even the food, you could change the food by replacing the image. So I'll choose a place to look for image to replace it with. Let's say it's just a local dish. You could just make like something like a jollof rice. Look for jollof rice, and you'll see jollof rice right here. So let's look for jollof rice right here. So I'll look for jollof rice on the image, and yes, we are going to see jollof rice. So this is what I did. So I'm going to choose any of the jollof rice that looks good to me just to feature on that. So I'm just going to choose one of those. So let's choose one of these. I'm going to choose this, and this it changes. So I'm going to crop it. I could easily crop it by bringing this to the middle. Yes, it changes, and this in the middle I could replace it as well. This is replace. I'm going to just click on it on the element and I'm going to replace it right here. So I'm going to click on replace just to replace that. I'm going to come to photos. From here you could see this is upload, this is photo, but I'm going to come to photos right here. So this is photos right there. So I'm going to look for another kind of dish. I'm going to just look for food. I'm going to look for local dish. Yes, so let's see what we have. So we have some local dish here. So let's see the one that will go with us. So let's choose that. So we're going to choose that. That will be the middle, and the last one is not looking bad itself. So all we have to do is to export this. To export it, I'm going to export it from here. So I'm going to just choose this to export that. Yeah, I'm going to say share my design from here. I'm going to try to share my design from there. Then all I have to do is to save as, but this time around I'll be saving as JPEG instead of PNG because it has to be a smaller file. So I'll save as JPEG. All I have to do is to download that. Then I have a design for food bank for a restaurant brand. So that's how you create flyers. Just choose a template, edit the template to your taste, and it's going to make sense. You could be more creative about it, change the text, change brand name to the brand you want to work for. And there we have our image, and I could easily see what it looks like right now. So I'll come to files and I'll be able to see what it looks like. So here we are. And this is it right here. This is what we just designed for a food brand. I hope to see you in the next lesson. See you there.